This is going to be my last time speaking on this, so I suggest that you share this and get it out as much as possible, because it probably won't last long anyway. Because I'm going to tell you the whole entire history of what's been going on in this country so that you can understand what's going on right now. And you can look up every single thing I tell you. First, the Unam Sanctum, which is where the Pope was believed that he had the authority from God as the Pope to submit all of the nations, okay? Now, if you ever heard the term all roads lead to Rome, this is why, because it's the Roman Catholic Church. Now, it says right here, and as it says, and affirmed that submission of part of every man to the Bishop of Rome is altogether necessary for his salvation, because whatever he could not free here, he could not have in heaven, was the ideology that was being thrown around. Now, mind you the date, 1302. Now, in 1421, China had made its way to America and had discovered it. To them, like they felt like they discovered it. But what they found here was all kinds of great civilizations. Now, what ends up happening is they end up mixing with some of the Moorish people from these lands, which fuels them to feel like they need to go and explore. And explore they did. Not only did they explore, but they also found out about the papal bull and, went and subdued the Pope. As they went around teaching civilization and building entire fucking religions on that side of the world. The reason was because these were the people that brought Christianity, Islam, Judaism. All of these came with them. But not on purpose. They were just sharing their system that we had here in the Americas. And then it was, tampered with heavily. Hence why the original Bible, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers, against the worldly governors, the princes of the darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness which are in the high places. Why? Because, you know what happens in the Catholic Church. See, disgusting acts have always came from from the popes and the fake ass kings and all the shit that claim that shit over there. They've always been up to some really fucked up shit, okay? That's why they created Cambridge and the printing press and gave you, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against the spiritual wickedness in high places. They altered it because of the fact that it was warning everybody against them. And that was when they had secretly got together and had a meeting, because all of the other nations, the Catholic nations of that side of the world, were trying to ward off the Christianity and wanted to submit the nations by use of the Pope. The Pope for what he has already done for them, and solicit his constant cooperation in their views of submitting the nations. So they sent out a scout. You might know who he is. First it was Amerigo, then it was Columbus. Once that had taken place, the Pope then told all of the Christians that, hey, look, since you're Christian, you can go over there and, anything that you discover, you can keep. That's yours. That'll be your Christian nation, and you can turn that into your Christian land. Told them everyone was savages there, because they ran into a few in ceremonial garb. Now, before I move forward, I want you to notice the locations on the map. I told you the map's been flipped, but you didn't hear me out. It was never displayed the way that it is now. That's why I tell you the Bible is talking about us over here being the promised land, not them over there. So, anyway, settlements had been allowed in America. The thing is that in these settlements, people were given land to bring their people to. The problem is that when the settlers were bringing people to the land to be free and to learn their ways and all these things, they started bringing stolen people, indentured servants and slaves and things. And so this stirred up the Gullah Wars, right? Where the indigenous black people, if you want to keep calling them black, disrespectfully, I guess, because black is disrespectful as fuck, because you're not black. I'm not black. You're not black. You're from this land. You're an American. That's it. You're a Moroccan. That's what it means, is Morocco. America means Morocco. Khan means priest. American. These were the priests of Morocco that were traveling the world. So, when they came, they were given land, but they were doing fuck shit by bringing over stolen children and adults and things that were being abused. Women were being openly traded, and everybody was being treated like livestock, and that didn't fucking fly with nobody here. So wars broke out, and we started whooping their ass all across the fucking country, which led to a revolution. See, because when they brought over the people from Africa, the people from here were like, wait a minute, did you just steal them from another part of our fucking country? They didn't know that they weren't 100% sure that they had came from another part of the world. So siding with them to beat the sleeves off a bunch of people that were trying to fucking do a whole bunch of people dirty by making slavery and shit like that was a pretty easy answer. Now, I know what you're probably wondering. Like, who were they over there really beefing with for real? This, ladies and gentlemen, area right here. I want you to pay attention to this area right here on the map, okay? See this area? This is in between Africa and Russia. Iran, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Turkey, most of Egypt, Libya, Algeria, right? You always hear about child labor camps and things like that. Well, these are the people that were doing it, and they turned into the people that you think they did. You see what I mean? Who the Ottomans were? Is all the people that you don't really like today that created all kinds of traditions with the intention of conquering America. None of that looks familiar to you, huh? And let me help you out. Because let me remind you, there's been some bad blood. Because if you didn't realize the Ottoman Empire, let me show you that again. These people became these people. These people. And these people. That's why they started religions with an all-inclusive, that's what the definition of Catholic, right? And these two are servants, okay? But this man right here ain't want no parts of that shit. So during his time, he visited Obama and basically ordered him to shut down the corporation and return all the estates. Then in 2023, he basically annexed the doctrine of discovery. So no, we don't have a president, and the borders are wide open because you don't wake the fuck up.